Welcome back to this week's episode of From Idea to Impact, the show that explores the journeys of entrepreneurs turning their ideas into real-world change. I'm your host, Quentin McDougald, CEO and founder of Nothing But Web and founder of the Nothing But Web Entrepreneur Network, which you're watching the show on right now. Tonight's guest, we have none other than Dwayne Parsons, CEO and founder of DeAndre Photography. So if you need a photographer, this is your guy. Dwayne, thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure to be here.
Appreciate you coming in tonight. Before we get started with our conversation, tell us a little bit about yourself, your business, where you're located. Go ahead, go for it.
All right. So I'm Dwayne, and I'm the owner of DeAndre Photography. We've been in business probably about 5 or 6 years. Decided to go full haul into business actually in the middle of the pandemic. I decided to get a small studio space and took it from there. It was very challenging. Right now, we are located in Hartford, Connecticut, 2074 Park Street. It's a beautiful 1,000 square foot space, lots of natural light and lots of settings that I have put up, as you can see in the background. Yep. So that's a little bit about who we are. We are a portrait photography group. So we do headshots, we do branding photography, we do birthdays, the kiddos, families, maternity, you name it, we do it here, man.
Listen, so you do it all. I know Dwayne personally, we did some business, we have a working relationship with each other. And let me tell you now, this is one humble brother, because I saw the beginning. Appreciate it, man. Originally taking the photos in the park, and then he moved to I think it was 100 square foot facility, and then I think 100. And then you are renting space from other places, and then what are you, 1,000 foot?
1,000 square feet. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. So clap it up for yourself, man. Listen, clap it up for yourself, man. That's progress. That's the goal of every entrepreneur. Continue to grow, because in entrepreneurship, a lot of people don't make it past the third year or the first year. Right. A lot of people give up. So, like you said, you've been doing this for years. So definitely salute to you and everything that you're doing. As we get started with our conversation, can you tell us about the moment that you decided to turn your passion for photography into a business?
Yeah, so as I said before, I've been taking pictures for quite a few years, but it was actually a year or two before the pandemic. I was like, I'm really gonna get serious about this. So I got my tax ID number. I got my LLC actually during COVID, and it was at the same time that I decided to step out and rent. It was a little under 200 square foot space. So I did all of that in the middle of the pandemic. That was extremely challenging in and of itself. Yeah.
So that was one of the challenging things. Again, I went to the space, and as a photographer, you're moving from one set to another set, some stuff off to the side of the hallway. So again,
you got to break it down and
break it down for the next. So that was one challenge. What do you think is the biggest challenge though so far that you've had starting your photography business in this competitive industry?
All right. So actually, another challenge that I had, especially during the pandemic, was getting clients, because people were still like hesitant, wanting to go outside, take pictures, stuff like that, getting into like an enclosed room to take pictures. So one of the challenges that I had was actually getting people through the door. Now, mark you, I still have to be paying my rent every month, so that in itself was a challenge, making sure that I had clients coming through. Another challenge that I had was finding new clients, getting my name out there. You do posts on social media, and the only persons who are really seeing it are people who are following you or friends of people who are following you. Not being able to target, other persons who you are really wanting to target, your target clients. So that was another challenge in and of itself, because
how did you overcome those challenges?
All right. So I just had to like hustle, man, hustle. Referrals are great. Word of mouth. Referrals are great. Uh, so a lot of times, what I had to do was make sure that I offered promotions. Um, I also connected with a lot of persons who have like high followings, or people on social media, and you do posts and they tag you, and then a whole bunch of people start reaching out saying, hey, I saw your work on this person's page, that person's page. So getting that traction really really helps. So collaborating with people who have that pull on social media, have a lot
Mhm.
of influence, that was a key for me. So that's one of the things that I did to overcome the challenge.
Excellent. And then I've seen a lot of your work. So if you haven't checked out his work, it'll pop right there in the corner right there. So how does your background help you with your unique approach when you're taking shots and portraits and everything that you do with customers and clients?
Yeah, great question. So I am long before photography, I was a musician. So I am a very artistic person. I'm a
Really?
creative.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
So, oh, absolutely, man. I play the keyboards. I actually do voice training as well. Back in the day, that's a whole nother story.
Okay, all right.
So I am a very artistic person, and creatives are very much perfectionists. So I take that, um, which can be a double-edged sword. I take that into my photography. So I look at my work and I'll say, okay, how could I have done that better? How can I improve on that? Okay, this looks great, but how can I make it pop? How can I make a greater impact? So that is one of the things that I've actually taken into my photography, which has really helped because I look at things through different lenses, from different perspectives, and I always am striving to be a better artist, to be better at what I do, and that has absolutely helped me with improving my photography.
That's very unique, especially in this day and age, because anybody nowadays think they could pick up a camera,
Uh,
become a photographer, because
yeah,
they saw it on social media. They think it's trendy and cool. Not so much
yeah,
anymore. I think over time, I think those people are kind of fell by the wayside. But
absolutely.
I love to hear the fact that you take this approach. You use perfection and
Mhm.
angles and everything that you do to make sure that the person or your client gets a quality image. Because a lot of times
Absolutely,
people just take the shots, don't do any edits, don't do anything, and then they post it. But a lot of the times, people don't know what to expect from a professional photographer.
absolutely.
So I'm glad you take the time and share that approach with us so that everybody knows if they need
Yeah,
photography, including myself, you're the guy to come to. You're the
yeah,
guy to
and
come to.
actually another thing too. Services are very, very important. And what I've found is a lot of people who take pictures, for whatever reason, they don't think that they're great in front of the camera. They shy away from taking pictures. They believe like they can't pose. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to affirm. You got to make sure that you build them up. So I definitely try to create a rapport with my clients. So the first thing that we do before we even do a shoot is we have a consultation. And it's basically me getting to know that person, knowing
Okay.
their personality, because you want to make sure that whatever pictures you take represents who they are. And you're not just like creating this false identity of who they are. So, during the consultation, you'll talk to them, get an idea of exactly who they are, what they like, what they don't like, what kind of music they like. So when it comes time for the shoot, I'm constantly having conversation with them throughout the shoot, getting them real comfortable. I'll play their music, whatever their jams are, we put that music on and we just create that atmosphere. And the feedback that I've gotten is like, man, Dwayne, you just made me feel so comfortable. I didn't even feel like I was taking pictures. I forgot about the fact that I'm taking pictures because you just made, your level of service is just top tier. You just made things so super comfortable for us. So that's another thing that I do implement um, in what I do with my clients. Yeah,
Listen, superior customer service will always reign supreme in any
absolutely,
industry,
man.
in any
Any
industry,
industry.
any
Yeah,
industry, definitely. So, Dwayne, can you share a memorable or impactful project or shoot that really helped you to shape your business?
absolutely. So recently, I had an opportunity to work with probably close to 40 entrepreneurs.
Okay.
They were all a part of this project for a grant application. And, I was commissioned to do the headshot for them.
Oh,
And that
wow.
was a great experience. Yeah, absolutely. It was a great experience because, you know, we were able to feed off of each other. We were able to speak into each other's business and network. And they got an opportunity to see what I did. And we built so many great relationships from that where, you know, they'd reach out to me to say, hey, you know what? Based on these headshots, I wanted to do some family portraits for me. Or my daughter is a model and she needs some new pictures for her portfolio. So that was a great opportunity for me to just network with other small, I don't want to say small businesses, but other entrepreneurs within the Hartford area. And that was phenomenal. Absolutely.
Listen, I love that you made that correction about the small business. No,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
entrepreneurs. We're worldwide.
No,
We're going to take this to the next level. Listen,
absolutely,
no
man.
one starts a business to be a small business. So
Nope.
I'm glad
Nope.
you made that edit for that.
Absolutely.
Definitely, definitely. So that was phenomenal. Tell us a little bit about that project because behind the scenes, you shared the video with me. So tell me a little bit about the project. What was it? Because like you said, if you're out of 40 contestants in a pitch competition, that's got to be stressful. Tell us what's
Oh,
one or two
yeah.
things you learned from that.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, with this particular program, they assist you with, you know, applying for grants. Um, you learned with, you know, you had to talk about the importance of social media, the importance of having legal representation. You know, I had a lawyer who looked over my contract, making sure that I was well covered. You know, you work with uh, insurance agents. Um, we work with so many different areas that we sometimes don't consider when we're talking about going into business. And at the end of the day, you know, we were able to write uh, do our profit and loss statements, the pitch video, and just getting everything in place so that when you apply for a grant, you know, you have everything that you need documented. So that was a great experience.
I'm gonna put the pitch video right here. Take a look at this.
As a hobbyist, I remember when I started my photography journey many years ago with those disposable film cameras. Who would have thought it would have taken me here? Hello, I'm Dwayne Parsons, and I'm the owner of DeAndre Photography LLC. In 2021, during the peak of the pandemic, I decided to take a leap of faith and open a studio. And so I moved into a small 200 square foot space. There were a lot of trial and error moments, which eventually helped me to redefine and develop my brand and my overall approach to photography. I wanted to provide an airy and creative space, not just for me to enjoy, but also my clients. I wanted my sessions to be less about taking the actual pictures and more about giving them an experience and creating a vibe. I truly wanted to bring this vision to life. So when I had to leave my old studio and this 1,000 square foot space became available in January, I knew I had to jump at the opportunity. With this new space, one of the things we do differently from most other photographers is to offer multiple customized set designs throughout the studio. We offer different tiered plans depending on what you want, and these can be customized and personalized. So whether it's a branding session for your business or a portrait session for you and your family, we are all about creating and delivering the ultimate experience. This money would absolutely help us to offer this creative space, not just for our clients, but also for other local photographers who may wish to rent the space. It is my hope that this will position me as Connecticut's leading portrait photographer. Thank you.
As I told you, amazing video. Look at what he offers. Look at him. Look at this. This guy's a superstar. So again, quick plug right here. If you need photography, definitely check out this guy right here. As I said, I know you, since kind of the inception of your business, I've seen you
Mhm.
grow. I know one of your biggest things we talked about behind the scenes when you were growing your business is I know you had a vision of where you wanted to be based on the people in the area. What are some of the strategies that you've used to help grow your brand?
Okay. So what I've noticed is a lot of the clients who are coming to me, especially like moms, looking for like particular set designs for their kids. Uh, you know, you go to JC Penney or another photographer, and you know, you get a great backdrop, seamless paper, a few props. That's great. But I've found that a lot of clients are like, I have a particular theme that I want. Um, and I don't see anybody else around here who's offering like a customized set design. So I realized that there was a market for that.
Mm.
So I dove into that. And I started creating different set designs, whether it's Mickey Mouse, a fairy, princess theme, a lavender field, whatever it is, whatever moms want. And I found that that really took off because, you have to make sure that you create these memories. These kids are growing up so fast. So create these memories for these milestones, and parents will never say no to that. So that is one of the things that I actually did, and it has taken off tremendously. The way I market that is, again, I use social media,
Okay.
but I use Meta to target my target audience.
Okay. All right.
So there's a whole world there, man. There's a whole
Yeah.
world in there. So I've been learning how to work in that aspect of it, and I've been able to target my ideal client with regards to that.
Perfect. Perfect. What are some current projects that you're working on with your business? What are you focusing on for this year, maybe next year? A lot of
Mhm.
entrepreneurs, they're already in the fourth quarter of this year with planning and everything. So what are one or two projects that you're working on right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I've been reaching out, or actually, a couple of companies have reached out to me recently with regards to doing corporate headshots for their executives. So I am actually working with regards to getting into more small, mid-sized companies or small companies, um, trying to see if they want to get updated headshots for their staff. That's been going pretty well. So I actually have that working on. And then another thing that I've been working on is I have been seeing these um, flyers like from church leaders or pastors or um, clergy in general. And some of these flyers are like, they're a little tacky, So I have been targeting religious groups and say, hey, it's time for you guys to update your flyers or your headshots. So I'm actually working on an initiative right now with getting into churches with a package with regards to having them update their headshots for their pastors, pastor and his first lady, speakers,
Yeah.
because that's, as believers, we need to make sure that we do things with a level of excellence. And I think that that is a great representation of who you are and what your brand is, even though it's, you're a church leader, you need to have a brand. So the feedback has been tremendous as well. So that's also another initiative that I'm working on for this year.
Listen, that's a actually fabulous idea because a lot of, like you said, like a
Yeah.
lot of people, they're used to their clergy and they may have taken pictures back in who knows the
Yeah.
90s, 2000s, and they use the same shot. So when they're putting the promotional flyers out, you get it's the situation where you see the person on the flyer and
Yeah.
you're kind of doing a
Looks
double take,
nothing.
like,
Yeah.
wait, this is like 15 years ago. So that's a good
Yeah.
initiative. I like that. I like that.
And
Um,
also some of these pictures are cell phone pictures.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So
So great
until
idea.
you pointed out, to them, they're like, "Yeah, you're right. I really need to update those pictures, man." So yeah,
Listen, great strategy, great strategy. So we're almost at the end, man. This is great. This is great. I love conversations with different people that I
yeah.
love and work with. Looking ahead, what are your long-term goals for DeAndre Photography?
My long-term goal. So what I really want to do, I want to create this space, um, where it can be a space for like creatives. You can rent the space, because I'm going to be having like different setups throughout the space. So if other photographers want to utilize the space, if somebody else wants to come in to do a vlog or whatever the case might be, an interview, this space will actually be available for that purpose. Um, I also want to be the top portrait photographer in Connecticut.
Listen, you're on your way.
Aim for the sky, man.
Yes, you're
So
you are on your way. I'm telling you. Listen, every time I open up social media, I see headshots from you, family shots, everything,
yeah,
everywhere. And it's funny because like Like I said, like I know where you started from and I know where
Hmm.
you wanted to go. And it's
Yep.
now it's like I see your work in other people that I know that
Hmm.
we made a connection. It's kind of like, all right, well, I'll see someone else's, they'll make a post about their birthday shoot or a family shoot.
Right.
You
Right.
look at the bottom and there's your name again.
Yeah.
So you're really innocent. You're on your way to being the number one guy, man. Keep
Absolutely.
going, keep
Absolutely.
going, keep going.
Yeah. Appreciate
Yep.
it, man.
So, Dwayne, you've reached my favorite part of the show. This is the part of the show when I ask all the guests to leave our viewers with some encouraging or inspirational words or phrases to help them be inspired. So when they're watching this episode, they watch your particular episode and they're like, you know what? I love what he said. So what do you want to leave the
Yeah.
audience with tonight?
All right. So what I really want to say is, you know, me being the person that I am, I overthink things. And it's almost like if things are not aligned the way I want it to, I won't make that jump. But sometimes if you have that feeling where you know what, I need to do something, just go ahead and do it. And that's what I did. I basically took a leap of faith. I knew I had the passion. I know I have exactly what it is, to be a successful photographer. Um, But because everything was not aligned the way I wanted to, I was like, I kept putting things off. And I just realized that sometimes you just have to make that jump. You just got to just take that leap of faith. And that's what I did. And it's like, once I did that, everything that I was fearing would not happen started to fall into place. Everything just started falling into place. And sometimes you just have to just go for it. So, if you're making a decision and you're like teetering whether or not you should or shouldn't, just go for it. Just
Listen,
go
those
for
are
it.
words. Those are words I live by, man. I mean, we're
Yeah,
sitting here right now on this show because I decided to just go for it. Who knew?
absolutely.
I learned video
Absolutely.
editing. This is show number two. I didn't plan.
Yep.
This is like, hey, you get to a point where once you're able as an entrepreneur just to go for it and just think like, I don't care what anybody thinks because I'm going to do it. And if it works,
Right.
it's going to be great. If it doesn't work, I learned a lesson. So that's great
Absolutely.
words of encouragement that you're leaving the audience with tonight. So Dwayne, as we wrap up now, tell everybody where they can find you. Give all your information, your social media, your website. Where can they find you to get in contact with you?
Absolutely. So you can find me on Facebook, DeAndre Photography, or on Instagram, it's D_Andre Photography. My website is www.deandrephotography.com. And I'm physically located at 2074 Park Street, Suite 207 in Hartford, Connecticut.
All right, I got to come out there and check you out, because I've only
Absolutely,
seen
man.
pictures of the studio. I'm gonna maybe this week I'm gonna go and
Absolutely, man. Let me
I'm
know when
gonna,
you're coming through,
find out.
man.
I'll give you a call, find out, make sure you're there. You're not in the one of these $1 million sessions that you do now. These $1 million sessions, millionaire models and everything you're shooting. So with that being said, Dwayne, anything you would like to leave the audience with before we wrap?
No, I'm just, thankful for this opportunity to be on this platform. We go back a couple of years, and it's great to see what you're doing here as well. So from one entrepreneur to another, man, proud of you, man.
Listen, man, I appreciate that. Once again, I'm your host, Quentin McDougald. This is Dwayne Parsons of DeAndre Photography, and this is
Yeah.
Idea to Impact. Have a great night.